Today we're going to talk about kicks and the martial art that specializes in kicks. They love them. It's Taekwondo. So today we're looking at Taekwondo kicking. So we're going to look at front kicks, side kicks, back kicks, and spin back kicks. And if we have time, roundhouse kicks and hook kicks. That's a lot of kicks. Let's get started. If I start in a forward stance, the back leg is our preferable kicking if we want to have power. Front kicks look like this. Up, then they go out, then they go back, and then they return back to the ground. 4 steps. Up, big knee bend. Out, back, big knee bend, and down. What's my mistake? Do you see it? Tristan.
I think you didn't do a big bend.
Well, I did a big bend. Do you see? What was my mistake? Yes, I skipped the 3rd step. I did step 1, beautiful. 2, beautiful. 3, not beautiful. Right? Very common that people skip the 3rd step. Don't skip the 3rd step. Next, foot position. When you do a front kick, what I want to do is when I do my kick and I shoot the foot out, look, the ankle goes down, the toes go back, and I hit with the ball of the foot. That way I don't break my toes. And I put the power into a small spot. When power goes into a small spot, it damages the small spot more effectively. But I don't want to break my toes. Do you see? Now we're going to take a look at side kicks. Side kicks, I think, are kind of tough. And if you find them difficult to do, it's because they're tough. But let's go through it and see if we can identify all the steps so that you know what you're going to try to do. And even though it's tough, you'll continue to work on these things until what's tough becomes a little easier. So watch. Let's say I'm going to do a side kick that goes this way, and my body is sideways to that direction. So here's the first thing. I bring my feet close together. Do you see that? Now the leg that's closest to this direction, I'm pointing to my left, it would be my left leg. It rises just like a front kick. But here's the thing that's extra on side kicks. The leg that rises acts like it's afraid of that direction, and it goes this way. It runs to the back side. Now, in order for this leg to run to the back side, look at the foot I'm standing on. The foot I'm standing on has to adjust its position so my toes are running away from the direction I'm gonna kick. So step 1, feet together. Step 2, knee rise, run it away, both toes point away. Step 3, ready? I stick my knee out to the side as I bow away from the target. Now my knees are apart. And then I shoot the side kick with the heel side in the lead. Then I pull my leg right back, the same line it started, and I come down, my feet are back close together. Ready? Watch. Feet together, knee up, run it away, both toes point that way, bow, knee comes out, shoot the kick, pull it back. Then I return. Now the part of my foot that I'm kicking with is on the edge of my foot. So I'm not hitting with my toes in front, I'm hitting with my heels in front. And so one of the reasons I turn this way is to get my toes away from the target so that my heel can more easily be in the front. Side kicks are one of our more powerful kicks, and so we do not want to hit on the toe side. We want to hit on the heel side. Any questions before we get going? So let's talk about side kicks and back kicks real quick because back kick is next. When you do a side kick, I don't know if you can see this so good from here, but if this leg's doing the side kick that direction and it runs away, when I bow and shoot the kick, my knees separate. So the kicking knee goes out to sideways in relationship to my hip, and I shoot the kick. Now a back kick, let's say I'm facing this way, I'm gonna kick behind me. The back kick, my knee runs away from the target, but when I do the back kick, my knees go right by each other. They rub against each other, and then I shoot the kick behind me. So a side kick and a back kick are practically the same move. The difference is how my knee goes past my hip. Side kick, the knee flares out to the side. Back kick, my knee goes directly underneath my hip. That's the difference. So back kicks now. If I'm gonna do a back kick towards the mirrors, I load my leg like always, but the target's behind me. I bow my head, but I do not let the kick kick. until my head goes really low. When my head is low, then I shoot the kick with my heel in the front, my toes pulled back, and then I pull my leg back up and then down. So it's got the same steps. Up, bow, shoot the kick back, up, and then down. Any questions on the back kick? Back kick should be ridiculously powerful, even more so than your side kick by a little bit. Again, I'm really impressed. I think side kicks are ridiculously hard. I think they're probably the hardest. Back kicks are right there with it. Back kicks are super hard. You guys are doing a really nice job with the back kicks. Real quick, when I do a back kick, I bring my leg up, right? Now, I'm not even looking at the target. And when my head is in line with my body, it's easy to have really good form and do the back kick correctly. So we're kicking blind, aren't we? But what happens if I look? So I want to see the target. So when I lift my leg up and I start looking, what happens to my knee? It wants to go out to the side. So what happens when I look is I'm more likely to do a side kick, right? Which is not a bad thing. Side kicks are awesome. But when we want you to do a back kick, we want the back kick to be done with the correct back kick form. So if you do it blind, you're going to have good form. If you want to see the target, which is helpful, it becomes a side kick. So now, which one you use against people, more likely you're going to use a side kick against a person because you want to see what you're aiming at, right? Now let's talk about spin back kicks. This is the front direction for me. I need to have a stance. So right now I'm gonna have a left leg forward stance. The front leg is my stepping leg and my back leg is my kicking leg. So watch how the spin back kick works. The front leg does its job, steps straight across. Watch again, stepping leg steps. Now I turn myself halfway around. Remember, this is the kicking leg. So I turn myself halfway around and the kicking leg comes up on the ball of my foot. Then I perform the back kick like always and land backwards. But I haven't done a full spin yet, have I? Once my foot lands, I finish the turn and then I see what I did. This is a spin back kick. It would be better described as a half spin back kick, wouldn't it? Because when I do the kick, I've only spun halfway around. But then when my kick is done, I finish the turn. Am I looking? No, I'm doing the kick blind. I just take a picture of the target. I can take the picture now, but then I leave the target and I just look at the picture in my mind and I hit the target. And then I watch and see what I did. Okay, here's one thing I want to identify before we leave back kicks completely. When you do a spin back kick, the front leg is our stepping leg and the front leg is your measuring stick. So what that means is it's either going to make you too far away and you're going to miss, too close and you're going to miss, or perfect. So if the front leg steps backwards, it's going to pull me away from the target, right? If my front leg goes forwards, it's going to bring me closer to the target. And if my front leg goes straight across, it's going to bring me to the middle ground of the target. So based upon where the target is, this front leg will take its step backwards, straight across, or forwards to bring me to the correct distance so that I can hit the target. Sound good? Back leg is going to do Mawashigiri, roundhouse kick. Leg comes up just like a front kick. Then I pivot on the standing leg. When I pivot, it's going to allow my kicking foot to be the same height as my knee. Then I point my knee at the target, foot close to my bottom, then perform the kick by straightening the leg and returning. Return the kick back to the hip, return back to the starting position and down. Has lots of steps, difficult to do in the air without kicking a target. So we're gonna do hook kicks. Hook kicks are done from a sideways body orientation. So I take my right hip to my left hip, it makes a straight line towards the destination, the target. My front leg is going to perform the hook kick, but my back leg is going to transport me to the correct distance such that my kick can hit the target. Because if I do it from here, nothing. So back leg is going to transport me close enough by either going behind my kicking leg or to my kicking leg behind it. but never in front of the kicking leg. So stepping leg is going to go behind. What I want to do is I want to dip my shoulder, load my hook kick from behind me, bow, and then extend my kick into the target. This way. Stepping behind. This way. Okay? If I don't dip my shoulder, it's very likely that this leg is not going to end up behind me. And then my kick is difficult to perform. If this standing leg points away, this one, it makes it easy for me to change and have change of level. I can kick higher, easier, based upon the orientation of my bottom foot. So by dipping my shoulder, it's not so much that the shoulder is important, it helps get everything lined up. This foot's going the correct direction, this foot comes from behind. Now if I want this kicking leg to come from behind, which I do, if I step in front of it, I block it. It cannot go behind unless it goes around, which kills the efficiency of the movement. That's why we go behind it. It goes right there easy, every time. All right, front leg hook kicks. We can also do spin hook kicks. If I'm gonna do a spin hook kick, in this case, I'm gonna take a step with my back leg, spin, there's my sideways hips, there's my leg in the back position, and there's my kick. So as we simply smooth out the kick, it's this way. Again, slowly, this way. Sideway hip orientation.